Are you ready to learn how to paint your projects? Well, I've got two different projects with two different type of techniques that I'm using, and I want to show you how to do each of them. Welcome to Papa's Workshop. In the last two videos, I showed you how to carve the eagle head, and I also showed you how to carve the fleur-de-lis. Well, in today's video, I want to take the opportunity to show you this technique on how I painted the eagle head. And then this technique was one method, and then I also have the fleur-de-lis that I went ahead and painted as well. Many times I am asked how I paint the different projects. Well, today I'm going to show you how I painted these two using two different techniques. So let's get started. If this is the first time to my channel, I welcome you and I'm glad that you're here. And I would appreciate it if you would just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because that helps me out more than you can possibly know. And then, if you like the content, if you like the videos that I'm producing, by all means, please hit that like button and share it with as many people as you can. I want to get these two signs painted today. And in many of the videos, I have shown different techniques. And today, I'm going to show yet another technique. And the first thing that I did on both of these signs is sealed them. I wanted the wood completely sealed. And I just have a mixture that of shellac and the denatured alcohol. And all I do is just take these two products and mix them 50-50 and put them into my own bottle. And then I have a real good finish and a real good sealer. Now, the nice thing about it is thin, it soaks into the wood very easily, and it dries very fast. And now I'm going to go ahead and paint these two signs and show you the technique that I'm using today. One of the things that I like to do is start with the lightest colors first. And because this eagle is all white, that's what I'm going to start with. And this is just your inexpensive acrylic paints that you can find from Hobby Lobby, Walmart, Michael's, any of those different types of stores. So that's how we're going to start. That should be plenty. And I'm going to mix just a touch of water in this to thin it. Then I'm going to take the brush and just wipe it on. And I want this to be more of a wash than anything. And this does go pretty fast. The good thing about this, it does not have to be perfect, because once this dries, I'm going to come back with another finish on it. Nice thing about it, if you get it on some areas that you don't want it on, you can just take the towel and wipe it off. And then just keep going. And like I said, this goes very, very quick, and it does not have to be exact. And by the time I paint it, it's already dry on the other side. And you can see I just do this real quick. I'm going to paint the beak and let it soak in, because that'll help the color of the yellow. So the first coat is done, and I can even come back now with a little bit of a second coat if I wish. And that does just fine. See how quick and easy this is. Just a real thin coat. Just wipe off the part that I don't want. So a little bit is still on there, that's okay. See, this side's dry already, and I can put the second coat on over here. And there's the first two coats, and this is just a base coat. But you can see it's already pretty much dry. Now the next color that I'm using is just bright yellow, and I'm going to put that in for the beak and around the eye. And I'm not going to dilute this one, but I want to go ahead and start working this in. And this is going to take a couple of coats also. We'll give that just a couple minutes to be able to dry, and then I'll be able to come back and add the black into it. Now while I'm waiting, I'm going to go ahead and bring this one over. I want to go ahead and paint this part the yellow. And I want to show you this. Even though this yellow is not diluted, you can see how that wood grain shows through. So one of the things you could do is the same thing that I did with the eagle, is actually start off with putting a white coat down on everything and then coming back. But I want to be able to show you the difference. So in this one, we're not going to do that. One of the things that I really like about doing the 3D carving is it gives you a good line to be able to work with. And you can paint right up to that real easy. And then the open areas, as long as it's smooth, it really doesn't matter. We'll let that part dry. We'll put a second coat on it in a minute. I'm going to finish this part down here. Now I have the first coat of the yellow on. And what I want to show you now is before I do the next coat, I'm going to go ahead and paint this other portion of the fleur-de-lis in the white as a base coat, and then I'll come back with a purple for my finish coat. And I want to be able to show you the difference on how having that base coat down really makes a difference. Now this is where the purple is going to go on the fleur-de-lis, and I've just finished it up now. I'm going to let this dry. But I want to tell you this too. If I was doing this off camera, since this entire sign is going to be painted, I would have just painted the entire surface white to begin with to give a good base coat. But I wanted to be able to show you the difference on how it's going to look with the base coat white for the purple versus not having the base coat for this yellow. And it's going to take several coats of the yellow to get the color that I actually want. Now you can see with the second coat, it's really filling in really nice. And that second coat covers extremely well. Now I'm going a little bit overboard as far as picking up the little details here, because you really don't need to do that with the wash that I'm going to put on this. Now this coat of white is not diluted. This is the full strength of the paint. In these open areas, I could have used a larger brush. Now I do need to come back. This is part of his beak, and I need to paint that yellow also. Now as far as the white, I could leave it like this, and it would look really good. So the next thing I'm going to do is just come back and put a second coat on the yellow. To be able to show you the real advantage of having this white base down, this purple goes on just very easy. It covers well, and it looks real good with the first coat. So that's why I said a moment ago, if I was doing this whole project off camera, I would have painted the entire surface white to begin with, and then come back with the colors. So you can see how good that looks. What I want to show you now, if you look at this purple, this is one coat of the purple with that undercoat of the white. That makes such a huge difference. It's a big difference between looking at the yellow, where you can still see the wood grain coming through, versus the purple, which is the true purple, with that white underneath it. Now granted, the yellow is a lighter color, but still, if I had the white underneath this and then painted the yellow on top, it would look much, much better, and the yellow would be brighter. So what I want to do off camera now is go ahead and paint everything else, the white, and then I'm going to go ahead and finish filling in the colors that I need for this sign. Now to get this finish, I used this antique nickel and just put it on a rag and wiped it on. And then you just take a little bit of water, because this is a water-based product, and then wipe it off just a little bit until you get the results that you want. And you wipe it against the grain of the feathers. And that makes a very nice look. And then I can just pat it dry. I'll turn this around so that you can see it. I'm going to let this dry now, and then I'll put a clear coat on top of it. Now, in some of the hard to get areas, you can work a little bit of the material in with a brush. And then wipe off the excess. I think it's a little bit too dark up in here. So I just take a damp rag. And I can wipe it off a little bit. And that looks good. And I want to touch up this eye just a little bit. I want to put just a little bit in here. Then I want to wipe that off. There we go. And all that's left on this is to be able to put the clear coat on it. Now, I did go back and make a few changes. Once I had everything painted white, I went back and changed the yellow on the fleur-de-lis to a gold color, and I painted the border also gold. One thing I want you to notice is that I have a couple of coats on the fleur-de-lis that's gold, while on the outside, I only painted one coat. So that's something I'll probably go back and do a second coat. The other thing that I did is I painted Mardi Gras just by flooding the area with the purple paint, and then once it dried, sanded it off, and then just painted the gold around it. Not a bad situation, very easy to do, and it gives excellent results. And of course, I just painted the edge, the purple also, just to kind of finish everything off. So this was a good project with a lot of detail, and I hope that you enjoyed this. I also know it's kind of funny, if I look at the real object, it looks beautiful purple on that fleur-de-lis, but in the video, it definitely comes out looking blue. Well, I don't know what I can do about the video, but it truly is a beautiful purple color. Now, is this the only way to be able to do this? No, not at all. I could have masked it off and did some of the spray painting and used some different techniques that I've used on some other projects. But for this one, I wanted to get away from all the fancy stuff and show you that it still can be done and have a very nice project painted by hand, if you will. And the 3D modeling makes it very easy to be able to have some nice crisp lines to be able to make it work. So here are the two projects completed. Now I do want to point out, as I was moving through this video doing these projects, I would do one and then I'd move to the other and then back. And that was simply because the paint needed to dry on one while I was working on the other one. And that's the way that you can do multiple projects at the same time. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. And if you did, please hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it so that you'll be notified on the different videos that I upload. Also, please like and share this video with everybody that you know. It really helps me out a lot. I want to take the opportunity to thank each and every one of you for watching today, and I appreciate the fact that you're here and watching the videos that I produce. So again, thank you very much for watching.